Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. These guys can tell us how much they want, that they are isolating Russia, they're isolating Iran, they are isolating North Korea, whomever they don't like they isolate, and they don't like mostly everybody. So therefore they isolate themselves actually from the rest of the world. I mean, if you look at it, there's the United States of America who isolates people, not other countries isolating it. So when you isolate, I'm not going to talk to you, 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 you are isolating yourself from five. Each and every country that you isolated is isolated from one, which is you. But you isolated from five. Anyway, you got your weasels that are singing for you, around you, and together with these 30 countries, you isolate everybody else, which is the rest, up to 193, right? You divide, you subtract the 30, and you get the one about what? 160 or something states that are isolated by the 30. So what happens here? We have a very, very busy bee. And this very, very busy bee is none other than the Belarusian president, Lukashenko, Viktor. Isn't Viktor Lukashenko or Alexander Lukashenko? One of the two. I will tell you in a second. Let's see. What are you, Viktor or Alexander? Alexander. Du bist Alexander. Okay. It's Lukashenko, and I have the other one, Yanukovych. So it's Viktor Yanukovych, Alexander Lukashenko, Balikanko Korolenko, and Chukolenko Kafalenko. Okay, all right. Now that we went over that, what did this busy bee do? Well, since he's isolated, you know, he sees his fellow criminal Putin, right? That's a given, so that's two isolated already. And then he went and saw Xi Jinping of China, another isolated one with about 1.5 billion people. Okay, and then now he's going to see whom? Iran, 80 million people, another isolated. So we have another axis of evil here created between Belarus, Russia, China, Iran. But you could probably bring over there as well as India pretty soon, and you can bring over there many other countries. Okay, Algeria, you can bring Brazil, you can bring Argentina, you can bring Nicaragua, you can bring Cuba, you can bring Egypt nowadays, and you can maybe squeeze in a little bit of Serbia. So a lot of countries that are isolated. The problem is the Iranian president, Raisi, he went and visited Mr. Xi. And then China brokered an understanding between Saudi Arabia and Iran. So they're becoming friends again. Israel is concerned. He just said that he just took a poop being so concerned about it and cried to the Americans, are you going to do something about it? And the Americans are, I'm busy here with Ukraine and Zelensky. I mean, what do you want me to let Zelensky Stein and come to you? We can't leave Zelensky. He's right here. So now I can't deal with two of you guys. I got to deal with this guy here. So Lukashenko, this guy who we hear from these weasels here, that he is isolated. He is, very scared. He's unsecured on his chair if they're going to overthrow him. He goes around the world. Usually you don't go around the world, visit people when at home things are not A-okay. Why? Because you might never be allowed to come back, or when you come back, they will take care of you as you come down and you, hey, what? Okay, I'm coming with you. Or they just shoot you as you come down from your airplane. So let's see what this article has to say here. So this article comes from, obviously, evil Sputnik, right? All right, and it says, Belarusian president arrives in Iran for official visit, reports. Oh, so meditative. Minsk. Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko has arrived in Iran, kicking off the two-day visit with brief talks with Iranian Trade Minister Reza Fatemi Amin, a Belarusian government-linked Telegram channel reported Sunday. Belarusian state news agency Belta reported that Lukashenko would meet with Iranian President Ebrahim Raisi on Monday. The leaders are expected to sign a, and I'm quoting, roadmap for comprehensive cooperation. I can't digest this, I even put it in my mouth, comprehensive, since the liberals here mentioned a comprehensive gun reform. Shut up. Comprehensive. The two nations are reportedly seeking to bolster cooperation in trade and the economy, as well as agriculture, transport, and logistics. According to the Mer news agency, Belarusian Minister of Foreign Affairs Sergei Aleinik also visited Tehran on Sunday and met with his Iranian counterpart Hossein Amir Abdollahian. According to Mer, Amir Abdollahian requested that the two countries speed up their economic cooperation, while Aleinik mentioned wanting to learn from Iran's experience with handling Western sanctions. Okay, well, this is, see, they friends will be friends. What can you do? This is what happened. Actions have consequences. Decisions, good decisions, bad decisions, they will have a consequence. Did you think ahead? You don't make a decision without looking at the consequences and then what's next and what's next. Only children do it just, I'm going to do it, I want that. Oh, bong. No, you don't do it. Hey, if I walk that way, am I going to fall? Is there something? But children, in this case our diplomats in the United States of America, ignored Russia and China for about 15 years, discarding them, disconsidering the countries as, and those guys got together closer and closer and closer, and now they are technically in a sexual relationship over there, really. I mean, how can you put it? I mean, they can't get closer than they are unless they unite, and that's not going to happen. I mean, unite in a certain way. So here we have the Belarusians who jump in that as well with Iran. And again, it's just Lukashenko, it's just Iran. You miss the big picture. These guys are forming the foundation of something that would not only challenge you, could potentially dethrone you. It is going to destroy your hegemony. And instead of trying to, I mean, first the empires, try to fight back physically, with wars and not only blackmail and threats. But then after that, if you realize that you can't really fight them, look what's happening in Ukraine. In Ukraine, NATO, United States, is not winning. Neither is Russia. The point is here, who's going to lose? It's not about who's winning, who's going to lose. And nobody's losing right now. So that means if you, NATO, with all those countries, United States with all those countries together, plus Australia, South Korea and other weasels, cannot beat one country. Imagine if China shows up, imagine if Iran shows up and others show up. What are you going to do? You have nobody else. You have Israel. That's all you got. It's going to show up. I'm coming. And Israel is very important. But you have Turkey. And Turkey is not something that you can play with. And I'm not sure that Turkey plays with those guys or with those guys. Okay? Probably they say, why don't you screw one another here? I'm going to just watch. And after that, I come and pick the pieces. Maybe I'm going to get stronger after that. Like in the Second World War, United States of America. The Europeans bomb, and then they got the big boss. Before that, they were not the big boss. Only after the war. Why? Because those guys has a mutual destruction. Pop. And by destroying, I stay up. I don't get better. It got better. I mean, the United States turned its economy into a war economy and so on. The production was skyrocketing and all that. But before that, United States was not like, oh my God, United States, oh yeah. Now I understand that it has a potential, but they didn't really care. The Americans at that time, they cared, but not that much. Look, the Japanese had this, I can't remember where I read this. It was in a war council, or security council as you would call it here, and it was, I think, the emperor, it was Tojo, the minister of war, and the council, the ministers, whatever, and I can't remember who said what, but it was one of these guys who said that, well, the Americans, all they do is just razor blades. That's all they do. That's all they're good at. Something like that. That's all they know to do. Or something like there's something that's, they don't even know what to do anything. I mean, what do they have? One of them up, basically. They were wrong because these guys switched their economy with the potential they had and their civilization at that time, not the weasel we have right now. They immediately kicked the guys' ass. But I'm not certain that you have this diverse military. United States will be capable of doing what that undiverse group of people did in the Second World War. Oh yeah, they were diverse. Yes, they were diverse, but they were diverse in a certain way. Anyway, you know what I mean. So here it is, Lukashenko again. These guys are forming something, and these guys, instead of saying, you know what, maybe we need to talk. But the thing with talk shows weakness, and empires cannot show weakness, because if they show weakness, they lose people that they oppress. Why should I listen to you anymore? I don't want to be with you anymore. Anyway, Lukashenko is opening his wings. Yeah, and again, these guys are going to probably talk. This is Sputnik. But if you probably read in a BBC or CNN or some other Associated Press, or who knows what, Reuters, they will laugh like, they're going to quote some weasels, so-called experts and analysts, and they will tell you, it's nothing, it's, man, don't even pay attention. No, don't pay attention. That's exactly what they like. Do not pay attention. It's like, you have a little cancer and you say, just a little bit. It's going to grow and it's going to get to the critical point where you can't do anything about it. It's too late. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.